Hey guys, what's going on? It's Carl here, back with another video. Just came back from watching the latest Bond flick, which is fitting as I am reviewing this little guy here, Bond's latest phone. This is the Sony Xperia Z5, or the Z5 if you are living down in the States, the latest premium flagship from Sony. I will tell you guys if it is worthy of a flagship and worthy to be a device of Mr. Bond himself. Mr. Bond doesn't actually use this phone in the movie, it's just been featured in a couple of the ads, but nevertheless, this is the Z5, the successor to the Z3 Plus. There are definitely some improvements, some of the specs are listed here on the box, but it does feature a 5.2-inch display, only 1080p, not Quad HD, which we've seen on some other Android flagships, but it is still a decent panel. On the back, Sony has opted for a frosted glass finish, which I'm a huge fan of. Samsung, you should definitely take note here, will help out with some of the fingerprints that glass panels are known for, and it does come in a bunch of different colors. Around the device, which is completely made of aluminum, we have a micro USB port on the bottom for charging, 3.5mm headphone jack up top. On the side, we do have the access ports for the nano SIM card slot tray as well as micro SD card, expandable up to 200 gigs, which is crazy. That will cost you a lot of money, but it does have that capability. And on our last side, we do have the on and off button / sleep button, volume rocker, as well as dedicated camera button. That access panel, as I mentioned, is sealed, which gives the phone its waterproof rating, something that we don't really see in modern smartphones anymore. It is IP65 and IP68 certified, which means you can take this thing with you while you're swimming, take snapshots underneath the water, if you want to shower with your phone for whatever weird reason that may be, but it does work completely submerged underwater. You can see that I'm doing a very makeshift water test here, but I've taken it into a pool, taken a few snapshots, even done that weird thing listening to some music in the shower. Every time that I've used this with contact with water, it has worked as long as you dry off the display. So in case you are very accident prone or you like to drop your phone into toilets for whatever reason, be assured it will start working after you've cleaned it off. Another first for Sony this time around is the addition of a fingerprint sensor, which is found on the on and off / sleep button on the side. Initially, I thought it was a tad bit peculiar placement, but after I've got used to it, I think it is one of the best placed positions for a fingerprint sensor. Very intuitive, and it picks up really well. The camera on the back is a 23 megapixel sensor, and Sony claims has autofocus times of less than 0.1 seconds. It is pretty decent, pretty quick, but still not one of the best cameras that I've used on a smartphone. I will give that title to either the iPhone 6s or even the Galaxy S6/S6 Edge. It is pretty decent if you have adequate lighting, but once you start getting into low light situations, that's where the photos start to get a bit grainy, and I found that the software of the actual camera app was a tad bit laggy. I think this can be fixed by Sony in the near future, but here are a few sample shots, and just remember it also records in 4K video at 30 FPS. Overall though, the build quality of the Z5 is top notch. It's completely wrapped in aluminum, which gives it a very premium feel in the hands. Slightly squarish though compared to the likes of the iPhone 6s, so it might take a bit of time to get used to holding this in your hands, but premium materials on the back and front give it a very solid build quality. Getting to performance now, just judging off of the Geekbench 3 scores, 1337 means it's elite on the single core side, 4575 on the multi-core side. Performance-wise, underneath the hood, we've got the latest chipsets. We've got the Snapdragon 810, 3 gigs of RAM, Adreno 430 GPU, and an octa-core processor. It is unfortunately running Android Lollipop 5.1.1 right out of the box, and I am not a fan of the skin that Sony is rocking over top. If I ever got the Z5, I would be sure to install a custom launcher on it, like Nova Launcher, or I would root the device to give it stock Android. Regardless of that though, whether you're playing games, multitasking, switching between applications, the Z5 handled everything that I threw at it without any hiccups. There were the minor instances of lag and a few applications crashing, but in all honesty, this happens on every single device that I've used, the iPhone 6s included, just to keep all those Apple fanboys in check over here. Overall, I've been very impressed with the Z5. I've had no issues in terms of performance, Battery wise will definitely last me all day, so we're seeing huge improvements from the Z3 Plus, but there are some minor issues with the device that will still have me searching elsewhere for my next flagship. That was my review of the Sony Xperia Z or Z5. Let me know what you think of this device down below in the comments. To sum it up, it is not the best Android device out there. It is the best Sony device, so if you're a huge Sony fanboy, big props, they have made improvements, but I'm still leaning towards the OnePlus Say 2. It is cheaper, or the Samsung Galaxy S6/S6 Edge, or even Team iPhone if you're looking at a different sort of operating system. There are some things that I am just not sold on the Sony side, mainly its skin over top Android Lollipop 5.1.1. It will come with 6.0 Marshmallow in the near future, but it really depends on your carrier and if you have an unlocked version. Once again, if you guys found this video of any use though, be sure to go crazy over on that like button as it does help me out a bunch. Stay posted to the channel for more tech content, and I will catch everyone else in my next episode. Peace! That was me being James Bond.